Welcome to Cook 30. I'm Jeremy Dixon from the Revive Cafes in Auckland, New Zealand, and I also wrote the Revive Cafe cookbooks. And today I'm going to share with you some delicious, healthy cafe meals that you can cook in your very own home. Cook 30 food is all about using whole grains and plant-based foods. We're going to be using great protein sources like lentils, nuts and beans, whole grains like brown rice and quinoa, fresh fruit and vegetables, and wrapping it all together with delicious international flavours and herbs and spices. And the best part about Cook 30 food is you do not have to spend hours slaving away in the kitchen. I'm going to show you how you can make a delicious meal for your family in just 30 minutes, and you will be surprised how easy it is. On the menu today we have an amazing Thai green curry lentils. And we're going to be serving this over zesty cilantro rice noodles. On the side we have a Tuscan greens salad, and to finish, a blueberry cashew cheesecake, which is totally amazing. Okay, to make a meal really quickly, you need to make sure you set up. We've got a nice clear bench and work area, chopping board, sharp knife. We've got all the pots and pans we need on the stove, clean, heating and ready. We've boiled the jug, so we've got boiling water ready, and the oven's on 350 Fahrenheit, which is about 180 Celsius. So get all your homework done first, and the rest of the meal becomes easy. First job is the lentils. These are going to take up to about 30 minutes to cook, so we need to get them on super fast. So I've got a hot pot here, and we're going to put in some lentils. We're going to put 1 cup of lentils, so these are just brown crimson lentils. So about 1 cup in there, and we're going to put around about 4 cups of water in. And we want these up to boiling point really quickly so they can get underway and become nice and soft by the time we need to add them and serve the meal. There we go. So I'll just turn the gas up there and watch that come to the boil. First job done. Second job, sweet potato. These are really delicious, or they call them kuma where I come from, really delicious ingredient in curries. So we're just going to put them into cubes. Just chop off the ends. We're not going to peel them. Not a big fan of peeling things if we don't need to. They're very, very clean. Chop them into lengths like that, and we're just going to chop them or slice them into cubes, keeping them relatively small. We do want to make sure they're cooked and soft in around about 20 minutes. And these will just become lovely and soft and will really just blend in well with the curried lentils we're about to make. So when you're cutting, try and economise on your cuts. You don't want to be cutting every single piece. So if you can cut 4 strips at a time with a good sharp knife, good flat chopping board, you're well ahead on your meal. Just slide those on a baking tray. Just put about a tablespoon of oil over them. Just give them a good mush up to make sure they're covered evenly. And then we're going to put them in the oven, and we'll get them out when they're nice and soft. We're going to start with the back of the meal now, and we're going to do the blueberry cheesecake. Frozen blueberries are an excellent ingredient to have in your freezer at all times. They can make a myriad of smoothies and desserts. So these are just beautiful. So we're going to put around about 3 cups into this pan, which is hot. 1, 2, 3. And this is going to make the topping. So again, we're going to go reverse. We're going to do the topping, then we're going to do the cream filling, and then the base. So we've got about that many blueberries. Now this is the dish I'm going to make the cheesecake in. So we want about the same number of blueberries that's going to cover the top of the cheesecake as the size of the dish. So as you can see, that's a reasonably good approximation. Put these back in the freezer so they don't melt. So they're just going to heat up there nicely, and we'll come back to them shortly. So I'll just put them on a very low heat just so they defrost and become nice and soft. Now I'm going to start with the cream filling of the cheesecake, or the cashew cheesecake. So I've just got a food processor here, and this is going to be like a white kind of a cheesecakey type texture. So we want to have 2 cups of cashew nuts. And I'm using cashew pieces. They're generally a lot cheaper than the whole cashew nuts. And seeing as we're blending them, there's no real reason to have whole cashew nuts. So you can save a bit of money by going with the cashew pieces rather than whole cashew nuts. We're now going to add some water. So we're going to put in a cup of water. Oops, wrong size cup. Better stick to the metric. So basically making a cashew cream. I'm going to add some dates in for sweetness. So I've got some diced dates here. You can use whole dates if you want, it doesn't really matter. So we want around about half a cup of diced dates. I'm going to put in just a drop of vanilla essence for a bit of flavour, and also just a pinch of salt, just to round everything off. So let's get this going. It'll take a few minutes to become cream. Meanwhile, the lentils are bubbling away. I might just turn those down a bit. We do want them nice and steadily cooking, but we don't necessarily want them to be, aggressively going. So I'm just going to turn it down, and it'll just simmer nicely. Look at these are starting to go already. Look at them. Let's just try them. Very, very sweet. Got a good batch. It does vary between batches. Okay, how's this going? Okay, it's quite thick. As you can see, it's reasonably thick. We probably want a cream, so I'm going to add a little bit more water. And every batch of this tends to be different, so probably add about another half cup of water and keep it going. We want a really nice, smooth cream, not something that's got lots of bits in it. It should get it through reasonably quickly. Getting better, just a little bit more water, I think. So you're better off to start with less water because you don't want a really runny mix. You want something that's smooth and creamy. There's a very, very fine line. So just keep adding water a little bit until you get the right texture you want. If you've added too much water, it's too late. Well, it's not really, probably add more cashew nuts. Yes, looking good. There we have a beautiful cream. I'm just going to reserve that. We're going to put that into this bowl, and we're going to come back to that later. Just get a nice spatula to spoon it out with. Now the reason we started with the cream first is that we can use the same blender bowl for the base, because the base has cashew nuts, so we don't need to clean the bowl in between, which is a really good time-saving technique. So we've made the filling, now we need to make the base. And the base uses similar ingredients, but it's a bit more of a basey type recipe. So the base is 1 cup of cashew nuts. And then we're going to have 1 cup of almonds. And a cup of dates. I'll measure this out this time. So very similar ingredients, but just different quantities of water. So we're going to end up with a nice, firm, packed base for the cheesecake. So cheesecakes generally have a base, a creamy filling, and something really nice on the top. And how much water do we want? We want about half a cup of water to start with. So I'll measure out 1 cup, just in case you need more. Put that half cup in like that. And get this whizzing up again. And this would be a much, much darker style base than the brightness. You want the contrast in colours. Look at these little babies, aren't they just beautiful? It's still a little bit hard, give them a few more seconds. Okay, what's happening here? Look at that. You've got a really nice kind of chunky consistency. We probably want it, it's pretty much perfect. So just you've got lots of bits in there to make it interesting, and that'll make a great base. So you don't want it too runny. So we're just going to scoop this out into our dish here. Just a nice, this I think is a, says about a 10-inch or a 25-centimetre kind of a flan tray thing. Scoop as much of that out as we can. And with a spoon, you just want to press it down, and then you've got a beautiful nut and date base. Now you want to try, because we're using a glass bowl, you can use a white bowl if you want, but you'll see all the different layers, so try not to smudge it up the tart too much. I think those are nearly done. Okay, now we're going to add the cream. Drizzle that over. Again, press it out, just like that. 2 layers down, 1 to go. So we need to turn the blueberries into something that's going to go on top. Now currently, you put this over, it's just going to be all liquidy. So a really good ingredient to use is arrowroot, or you can use corn flour. So grab a cup, and we're going to use, how much of this? 2 teaspoons of arrowroot, and you might need 3 or 4 teaspoons of corn flour if you use corn flour. Just like that. And just a little bit of water, so probably about the same amount, or a bit more. Just stir it up. I'm going to pour it over these blueberries, and that will just thicken everything up. You can see it's white now, and that arrowroot will just, as it heats up, it just thickens into a really nice gel consistency. So keep stirring it, make sure it doesn't kind of just gel up in one area, make sure it's all evenly through the whole lot. And this is how you make a really nice gel topping. Look at that, very quick, not much time at all. Ready to go. Now those blueberries were very sweet when I tried them before, so I'm not going to add any sweetness. Sometimes you can get tart blueberries, so make sure you might want to add some date puree or a guave or some honey to that just to sweeten it up a bit, but these blueberries will be fine as they are. So we're just going to spoon them on gently, all over this here. Just cover it out over the cheesecake. Doesn't that look amazing? Could have used a few more blueberries, but there's one amazing blueberry cheesecake. Now that's quite soft, so we're going to put it in the fridge or freezer now. And by the time we come to eat it at the end of the meal, it'll firmed up a lot more, and it'll be more like kind of the cheesecake texture you're used to. So into the refrigerator, and that will start to set immediately. If you've just joined us on Cook 30, we are cooking a delicious plant-based whole food meal. We have a Thai green curried lentils, served over zesty cilantro rice noodles. We have a Tuscan green salad, and to finish off, an amazing blueberry cashew cheesecake. Okay, now it's time for the salad. So I've got some really nice, you can get these really nice mixes in the supermarket. And this is arugula and spinach, which is the same word for rocket, so rocket and spinach. And just a beautiful fresh leaves, and these are just delicious and easy to use, prepared, pre-washed, and usually very, very fresh, although do look out for them. So we're going to get a bowl. Wooden bowls are great, and put in a big handful in there like that. You know how many people you're going to feed. And we're going to use an ingredient you've probably not used this way before. I've got some butternut squash. So I'm going to cut off a big slice for the end. I'm going to cut off some thin slices. So probably around about four nice thin even slices. Oh, I'll just throw that one away. Make sure you go all the way through. Where's that? 5, I think. That's okay. I'm just going to trim off the ends. Make sure you don't get any skin on there. And as a salad ingredient, this is actually really nice raw. And then we're just going to slice through here really, really thinly. And you need a good sharp knife for this. And make these beautiful little julienne butternut pumpkin matchsticks. And these just look beautiful in the salad. And they actually taste really nice as well. And yes, you can eat pumpkin or butternut raw. Just keep going right through to the end. One of the secrets about keeping knives sharp is to keep them sharp before they go blunt. So you really need a good sharp knife. There we go. Do these ones individually. It gets a bit hard at the end. We're just going to scatter that through the salad. So mix kind of some of it through and reserve some for on top. Just a beautiful colour, and you've probably never used butternut raw like that before. You can also grate it as well, so you just got to make sure you cut it up small. You can add some nice cherry tomatoes. So grab some of these. I'm just going to cut them in half. Again, when you're cutting things, try and get, one cut cuts 4 tomatoes. So you can really increase the speed of your cooking by doing that. But again, you need a really sharp knife to perform these kind of manoeuvres. There you go. Got some Kalamata olives. So it's just basically a nice Tuscan flavours, very Mediterranean. Olives, tomato, and we're just going to scatter some olives in here. Kalamata olives are a nice olive to use. And it's quite nice buying olives that are pre-pitted, and they're also cut in half as well. It's quicker, and I actually enjoy just being able to eat my salad without having to worry about stones. Olive purists will tell you that you need to get your olives with the stones, and it probably is technically correct, but I think they just taste great when you can just eat through and not having to worry about having a stone there. There we go, and on top of that, we're just going to sprinkle some sliced almonds. Just a little bit of a drizzle of olive oil. And we'll just put just a small drizzle of lemon juice. Just squeeze it through your fingers. Just not a really dressing, it's just there just to give a little bit of extra bite as well. But all those other ingredients will do the work, so you don't need a full-on proper dressing. So you have a very beautiful, colourful Tuscan fresh salad in minutes. Okay, we're about to do the noodles. I'm just going to get the jug going again, so we've got boiling water. I'll set that going. We're going to get some rice noodles, and these are available from most supermarkets these days, or Asian shops, which is great. Just get into this here. And these are just a great noodle to have with anything Thai. So this is, how many grams? This is 227 grams, or 8 ounces. We probably want around about half of this. No, we'll use them all, So about 200 grams, 8 ounces, into a bowl. And we're just going to pour boiling water over the top. You can cook them on the stove if you want, but this way is actually very adequate. So just pour the boiling water over the noodles so they're totally covered. Then grab a plate or some kind of lid, put it on top, and in around about 6 to 8 minutes, those should be cooked. Every noodle's different, some can be longer or shorter, but general rule of thumb, just put some boiling water over and they will cook really quickly. We're making fantastic progress. The dessert's done and in the fridge. The kumara and the lentils are probably almost done now, ready to combine for the curry. We've done the salad. The noodles are cooking away in the pot there, so let's start the curry. Hot pan there, so we need to start off, any good curry starts off with some onions. So we're going to chop up a nice big brown onion. Always good to start with a good base of flavour. I'm just going to cut it up into strips. This one is going to have a few lengths of onion through the dish. Just cut it up really fine. You have a sharp knife, or you can get your fingers here. There we go. Splash of oil. Throwing it in like that. Love that sound. It's the sound of progress in the kitchen. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of ginger. You can use fresh ginger, or these great purees are great. One, that's about 2 tablespoons. I think that's finished now. And we've got some lemongrass. You could use fresh lemongrass, or again, a lemongrass puree from the supermarket. So you want 2 tablespoons of that. I think that's finished as well. So these great, delicious Thai flavours will really start this dish off well. Garlic, of course, 2 cloves of garlic into the peeler, the presser, and just push it through. Get some garlic. And that'll just get underway there. We're going to use some colour, so we've got a bell pepper. Pull out the seedy parts. Get rid of the pips. And we're just going to dice this into just nice chunky squares. Just like that. Okay. Might turn it up even more. Get these underway. We want to make this really quickly, so we need it to saute fast. A green curry paste is the next ingredient. You can get these from all your supermarkets and also from any Asian shop. So we want a good teaspoon of this. I'm going to mix it in a cup though with some water, just so it spreads well through the dish. Just a little bit of water, teaspoon of your curry paste. And again, if you like your curries a bit hotter, just double the amount, but add less first and add more later if you need to, because once it's in, it's not going anywhere. There we go. We're going to add another favourite ingredient of mine, and that is kaffir lime leaves. Now I've got a kaffir lime bush at home. It's great. Well, you can buy them actually dried, and they come just a little dry leaf, kind of like a bay leaf, and they just have a great Thai flavour. So we're going to throw them in, and they're kind of like a bay leaf in that you don't actually eat them. They just flavour the dish, and you pick it out while you're eating it or before you serve it. So they'll give some great flavour. I'll put in a teaspoon of salt. I'll use some honey or date puree as a sweetener, so I want 2 tablespoons there. And that's coming along nicely. Those onions are just starting to soften up, which is great. On high heat. Now the lentils are done, I think. Look at that. Look in there, you can see they're all done. There's no water left. Sometimes there's some water, it's not a bad thing. So we want around about 2 cups of lentils. And just scoop in, there's 1 cup, and there's 2 cups. That's all we need there. And the rest into the fridge or the freezer to be used for another meal on another day. So always overcook ingredients like this, very, very handy. Let's check out the sweet potato. Looking beautiful. You can just tell it's lovely and golden and soft, and we're going to spoon this in as well. Just plonk that in there. So as you can see, you've made all the prep work at the beginning is now paying off, because everything just comes into the pan at the end nice and easily. Just put this back out of the way. Give it a good stir up. I'm going to put some coconut cream in with it now, just to finish the dish off. coconut cream. We could use some coconut milk. And give it a good stir around. And that was a really, really quick and lovely Thai green curry lentils. Will go well over the noodles. So let's let that simmer for a little bit more. Speaking of which, the noodles are ready to go. We'll just drain those over here in the colander. Back into the bowl. I'm just going to throw some great other ingredients in there to go with it. I'm going to put a big bunch of cilantro or coriander. And then I'm going to add some lime juice and some lime zest and some salt and some oil over the break. And I'll see you for the final plate up. Just finish these noodles off with a bit of lime zest, just to give it extra flavour. Got the beautiful Tuscan salad. Look at that colour. That is going to taste amazing. And this magnificent Thai green curry lentils is one of my favourite hot pot style dishes. Lots of flavour, the beautiful soft sweet potato on top of those noodles are great. Plus we're going to finish off with that blueberry cheesecake I just brought out of the fridge. Delicious meal for your family. I hope you've enjoyed the show today, and I look forward to catching you up with you next time on Cook 30.